PR director for the ISC West show, and today we are going to interview two gentlemen that I think will share an interesting new product that is debuting at ISC West this year. So with me, I have Mark Galley. He's the Vice President of Marketing for VideoIQ, and I have Mahesh Saptharishi, who is the Chief Scientist at VideoIQ. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Nice to be here. Thank you for coming and spending some time with us. You guys have been on the floor one day now. What are you seeing, Mark? Tell me a little bit about what trends you're seeing on the floor today.
Well, one of the things we're seeing out in the marketplace today is really the adoption and interest in distributed storage. So people are really talking about giving integrators and dealers the deployment flexibility that comes with having the option to archive centrally, which is what people do traditionally, as well as now bring in edge-based solutions so that they can really control the bandwidth that cameras are streaming off of, and they can deploy in much more difficult situations than they could in the past, like wireless mesh networks, cellular connections, and shared IT infrastructure and networks. So we're seeing an awful lot of interest and adoption from the integrators and dealers. And
is that a change in the past year, or is everybody sort of catching up at this point? Or?
I think more than anything is it's turned from talk to reality now. So people have been experimenting over the last several years with it, and now it's really gone mainstream. So I think that's what we're seeing in 2011 that's different than we saw in 2010 and 2009.
And that's a good thing, isn't it?
It is a good thing, yeah.
Okay. Mahesh, why don't you share with us what you're seeing on the floor?
I mean, I would echo pretty much what Mark just said, and I would add to it perhaps that distributed storage in the context of standard resolution cameras, which has been the trend, IP standard resolution cameras has been the trend over the past many years, and now we're seeing megapixel come into the forefront. Bandwidth issues are big now, and storage at the edge is getting that much more attention because of it, and we have tried to be at the forefront of that, and we see that trend continuing with the rest of the industry as well.
Is there anything that you would hope would happen on the network side that would help that along?
I mean, I think today network traffic is basically content agnostic. We are seeing trends towards network traffic being managed on a content-aware basis, knowing what is contained in video before giving it a priority to transmit. It's more common in other industries where quality of service is a big deal. I see that trend coming in here, and I would like to see more of it be part of the network infrastructure for security.
Yeah, that makes certainly a lot of sense with so much more going over bandwidth.
Yep.
Yeah. What is the state of the analytics market right now, Mark? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I think analytics has been a dirty world in the security industry for years now. I think we're now seeing integrators and dealers come back and rethink analytics. We're on the second, third, fourth generation in certain circumstances of analytics now, and it's really become channel ready. And to be channel ready, it has to be hang a camera and go. It has to be as easy to install as essentially a system that doesn't have the intelligence of analytics. And we're now there today. So I think more than anything, it is the reality of the industry is now ahead of the bad reputation it's built over the years. And it's good to see that the interest and adoption is also increasing in it. As a result of people having experimented with the later generations, they're now taking it to their mainstream customers.
So there's a comfort level for them to now say, I recommend this heartily. Now, conversely to customers, the end user customer, are they asking, have they sort of pushed it on the back end, the analytic part of it?
They have. Yeah. I think people in the tough economic times over the last several years have really looked to cost justify their solutions. And customers that particularly had theft and vandalism, they had a real need for analytics, and they could easily cost justify it. So that was a great foothold and beachhead for the mainstream integrators to provide solutions of the next generation analytics. So now that they've experimented and kind of proven it out in difficult situations where there was a cost justifiable reason to put it in, they now see the applications exploding, where they can put it where they hadn't thought that the analytics was mature enough to do in the past. So I think over the last couple of years, because of those tough economic times, they've been forced to cost justify and then put in analytic solutions because they've been able to actually justify the installations of them.
Which is what it's all about, right? You have something to add to me?
So, I've spent the past 15 years working on analytics algorithms and camera systems and such, and I'll tell you this, video analytics is not a solved problem. there's a long way to go, and both from a performance and a feature standpoint. I think the biggest changes that I've seen in the past 10 years is that, analytics has been hyped up and it's been cost prohibitive. You're talking about $1,000 per channel add-on that oftentimes didn't meet customer expectations. What we're seeing now is, as Mark said, customers getting more experience with the analytics capabilities, knowing how to deploy it in situations where it is going to work, and analytics also getting better, catching up to the expectations that are reasonable within the industry. And so you see that sort of those two diverging forces now converging and making more sense from a solution standpoint. And I think that's largely driving the growth and the acceptance of the analytics market today.
Are there new markets that have been opened up as a result of that?
I mean, I think so. I think slowly now, there was a time in analytics for business intelligence was a big deal. Business intelligence on a security network specifically. It was sort of hyped as something that was possible and something that would add a lot of value. I think it fell short of expectations. People focused more on security. Now that's getting better. And now I think going back to the business intelligence side of things, I think now people are coming with it, coming at the problem with a more sort of focused and rational approach to making sure that the right pieces of information are being gathered by analytics to actually make business intelligence a worthwhile investment for a retailer or for any industry out there.
Yeah, retailers are really using analytics in a big way, but not just for theft and loss prevention, but for store trafficking and patterns and shelving and inventory and things like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And something we're also seeing, we're actually introducing a very specialized analytic rule here at the show called ATM vagrancy detection. And this really pushes the state of the art into business continuity. They're certainly concerned about the security of their customers, but they're also very concerned that we have access 24/7 to that ATM. If someone happens to be loitering or sleeping in there, we're not going to go into that ATM. So people are now beginning to push the envelope of what analytics can actually do to increase their bottom line. So,
which is good product development for you guys, right?
That's
Absolutely.
Right. That's right.
That's great. So coming to a show like this, you get some of that input and feedback and voice of the customer type input.
Absolutely.
To continue to develop product. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big trend that we're seeing there in the analytics side is usually when people think of analytics, they think of like real-time alarms, right? So like your burglar alarm, but now a little more intelligent. I think now something that we tried to focus on early on is also becoming a bigger trend in that analytics is now used to figure out how to control storage, for example. Where do you store data? How do you compress data? Maybe like event data should be compressed at higher quality than some cases where nothing is happening. How do you control imager quality and things like that? I mean, analytics is now more of a, makes everything content aware as opposed to content agnostic. And that's a trend that we're seeing right now, and the trend moving away from analytics being looked at purely as an alarm generator.
And those metrics are dictated by the customer's
Absolutely.
needs, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, are third-party VMS platforms adopting distributed storage?
They are. I think this comes to kind of one of the trends we're also seeing out in the marketplace of people really being more comfortable with not necessarily just the traditional centralized model. And the third-party VMS platforms are a critical component to it. We've worked closely with all the major vendors like Milestone, Genetec, ONSSI, Exact, and so forth. Milestone has supported edge-based storage for almost a year now. Genetec came out with their position paper on data trickling, which is giving integrators, giving dealers the ability to intelligently move video archiving either from the edge all the way to the central server or somewhere in the middle in the overall network. And with their adoption and their continued push of these innovative solutions, the whole market is going to continue to embrace distributed storage. So we're really happy that third-party VMSs are embracing it and pushing the whole state of the industry forward.
Yeah, again, another good thing for you guys.
It is.
So we didn't talk about VideoIQ. Tell me a little bit about the company, where you're located, how long you've been in business.
Yeah, so we're located just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, up in Bedford, Massachusetts. We've been selling our cameras and encoders since 2007. We have a complete line of camera and encoders that have embedded analytics on them. we've got, and we're happy that we were just named a new product showcase in the video analytics space. We're the only ones that offer full 1080p video analytics on camera, and that's giving everyone twice the range, 3 times the field of view, and even better accuracy than any D1 analytics solution out there, because we're processing the full analytics stream. And with 100% self-calibrating analytics, it's as easy to install as a camera that doesn't have any intelligence, so it's absolutely channel friendly. So we're very much known for the analytics side, and we're also very much known for the distributed storage. And it's not just SD card storage. We've got up to 500 gigabytes of full NVR for months worth of HD storage, and almost a full calendar year of D1 storage if the customer needs it. And by allowing customers, or giving customers, full storage out on the edge, we're giving them that flexibility that whether they want redundancy to their central system, whether they want full distributed video, or whether they want to go with a concept like data trickling and move the video intelligently from edge to a central environment, we're giving them the flexibility to do that.
Which I think many customers would appreciate. Yeah, good. How about you, Mahesh? What do you want? You've been with the company how long?
So I'm one of the founders of the company.
Oh,
so
great, yeah.
I've been here since the beginning, I guess. Again, it's as a founder, one of my goals from the technology standpoint was to see analytics be an operating substrate for everything that a camera does, from the image capture to image streaming to presenting information in a useful way to the person who is monitoring those cameras. And that ranges from innovations in analytics, innovations in distributed storage, innovation in how we present information to the user, changing what a typical security officer at a guard station does from being one of watching a bank of 30 cameras to one of actually verifying an alarm that it's real and needs action. So, as a company, that's what we have tried to do, and I think I'm quite happy that we're progressing in the right direction, and the market seems to like what we're doing.
Sounds very powerful for the customer, too, to be able to have all that information at their fingertips.
Yes.
Great. Well, where's your website, and where can people find you? I know you're at the show, but this will probably be posted after, so where can people find you on the web?
Yeah, find us at www.videoiq.com.
Great. Thank you very much. I enjoyed talking to you today.
Thank you.